I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't ask the detective beside me if this was real life or a dream I couldn't claw my way out of. I just stood there, knees locked, body numb, eyes fixed on the inch-wide crack in the hospital door. Through it I could see her, my daughter. Emily, my baby. Tubes running from her arms like cruel vines, her skin pale beneath bruises and shades I couldn't name. She looked like a ghost in that bed. Like she'd been vanishing slowly, quietly. The detective leaned toward me and whispered, "Don't make a scene. Just observe." And so I did. But something in me split open, silently, irreparably. 3 years ago I gave up custody of Emily. No, that's not the truth. I didn't give it up. It was taken. Damon, my ex-husband, had money, a slick reputation, a whole army of polished lies. I had a medical history. A few breakdowns. A depression diagnosis and a face too tired to fight back in court. I remember holding the pen to sign those papers. My hands were shaking, but I made sure my face stayed calm. I told myself it was for her, that maybe money and a picture-perfect mansion meant security. That maybe his new wife's soft voice and smile like a magazine ad meant affection. After that, I saw Emily only twice a month. Supervised. Neutral locations. Conversations that felt like tiptoeing through a script. Emily always looked tidy posed. Like a well-kept secret. Until 2 days ago. The call didn't come from Damon. It came from a paramedic. "Your daughter collapsed at school. Might be exhaustion. Malnutrition." I rushed to the ER, heart pounding, breath short. But the police were already there. One of them asked me how often I visited. If Emily ever talked to me about her life. I told them no, she didn't share much. Just said she was fine. That word, fine. It's what abused kids say when they're not allowed to say anything else. Then they handed me a phone. A video. Emily, slumped on a bathroom floor, whispering like the walls might be listening. Asterisk, "I think they're poisoning me. I think they're trying to make me disappear." Asterisk, I watched it once, twice, 3 times. Not a single tear. Just cold, deliberate understanding. They had been microdosing her with lithium, tiny amounts in her shakes and smoothies. Enough to cause confusion. Memory lapses. Emotional instability. Just enough to create a pattern. One they could attribute to me. It was Damon's idea, the detective said. He wanted to frame her with mental illness. Get her committed. Inherit her trust fund. The money wasn't his, it was mine. Left to Emily by my mother. Locked away until she turned 18. Untouchable, unless she was declared legally unfit. And Damon, he needed that money. His so-called crypto empire had begun to rot from the inside out. Desperation makes monsters even more dangerous. They'd found fake prescriptions in his wife's name. Footage of him slipping pills into Emily's meals. But it wasn't enough to arrest him. Not yet. Not without her testimony. I nodded like a grieving mother. Soft. Cooperative. But inside, something else woke up. I asked the detective for 24 hours. Just 24. I needed to end this in a way Damon would feel. Not through handcuffs. Through humiliation. Through legacy. That night I emailed him. Played my part. Shaken, confused, desperate. I begged for answers. I asked if maybe it was my fault. If I'd made her this way. He replied within minutes. Of course he did. He couldn't help himself. He said yes. That Emily had always been unstable. That he'd been working closely with doctors. That he was trying to save her. I screen captured every word. Every period. Every lie. Then I made a phone call. Not to a lawyer. But to one of his crypto investors. The one he owed $5 million. I offered him something better than repayment. The next morning, Damon walked into the hospital with a lawyer and crocodile tears. He looked like a man auditioning for empathy. Emily was still asleep. I was sitting beside her. He gave me a rehearsed look of relief. Concern. A script. Then the investor walked in. Followed by 3 journalists. They cornered Damon right there in pediatrics. Asked about the lithium. The emails. The video. The forged documents. He stammered. Denied. Reached for the usual script. That's when I stood. Calm. Unmoving. I handed the journalists a flash drive. Had everything. His emails. Voice notes. One in particular where he said, asterisk, she won't even remember her name by summer. The fund is ours. Asterisk. The investor smiled like he'd just closed the best deal of his life. Because he had. And then the police came in. This time they brought handcuffs. They didn't need an attempted murder charge. They had enough. Reckless endangerment. Falsifying medical documents. financial fraud, custodial abuse. The press destroyed him. His company dissolved overnight. His wife disappeared, likely to some place that doesn't ask questions. Emily came home with me. The court granted me full custody, permanent. Her trust fund was untouched. So, when she finally woke up, I told her the truth. Not all of it, just enough. I told her she was safe, that she was loved, that no one would hurt her again. I didn't tell her about the part where I baited Damon using the same tools he once used on me: compliance, silence, softness. I didn't tell her how I gave the investor everything, every dirty secret, or how I made sure the cameras were rolling. Damon thought he was building a case. He didn't know I was building one too. I didn't scream when I saw my daughter broken in that hospital bed. I waited, and when the time came, I made sure he couldn't stop shaking.